So I have to say something. I've been hiding a couple of days, but I've got to say something about Dominic Cummings, right? Because this is ridiculous, and it's kind of everywhere right now. So this is my humble opinion on the whole farce, because it is a farce. So I've just been, I didn't know who the guy was. I still don't know who he was, but I've had a little flick through. He was once dubbed by David Cameron as a career psychopath, which I find quite amusing. He's not a part of the Conservative Party, and but he's Boris Johnson's chief advisor. So he's taking all of his let's do this from this Dominic Cummings guy. He apparently is the go-to guy for advice on how to get shit done. And he broke lockdown restrictions, which apparently, I don't know, in March I think he did. So when we were first in lockdown, when literally we weren't allowed to leave our own homes, his missus had got COVID-19, or she was displaying COVID-19 symptoms. So he got in a car with her and their kiddie, and he drove 250 miles in the spirit of lockdown to be with his elderly parents so that they could look after the child. Apparently, he looked after the child himself, Boris Johnson said today in his little speech to the country, which was hilarious because every single person of the media brought up Dominic Cummings, and he's like, I've already explained this. It's like, no, Bojo, you've not. Everybody else was told they had to stay indoors. No, I'm getting confused with remain indoors. Stay home. Protect the NHS, save lives, right? Stay home was on their thing. Stay home, right? Stay home. That's what they said. Stay home. Unless you're the government's chief advisor, then you can get your missus who's got the symptoms and go 250 miles to be with your elderly parents. The whole thing. And Bojo said in today's meeting that he acted with integrity, he acted lawfully. What he did was lawful. Well, of course it was lawful, because it's not, the lockdown isn't a law, it's government guidance. He went against government guidance. He didn't break the law, so Bojo wasn't lying when he said that, because there is no law there. We believe them, we do what they say, right? Now, I've said I am not fearful of coronavirus, never have been. There's not actually, and coronavirus, they change their mind. They'll say coronavirus one minute, COVID-19 the next. It's COVID-19 that we need to be fearful of, apparently, because coronavirus comes around every year and has done for 60 years, and there are over 30 strains of coronavirus. This new one, COVID-19, of which, show me the proof that it even exists. Do you know what I mean? Because the tests, you can find this all out from the people in the know. David Icke, Amazing Polly, Dr. Rashid Buttar, like the people who know what they're talking about. Do some research on it, because literally it's so underhanded, it's so wrong. Now, I'm sorry, but I am going all over the show because I'm a little bit irate at the minute with this Dominic Cummings thing. So he went and he broke lockdown rules. Bojo's saying he's perfectly fine to do that, right? But the rest of us have to stay indoors. He said he did what he needed to do to protect his family and stop the spread of the virus. So he took somebody with the virus from London, from a hotspot, travelled up north where there wasn't so much of a thing. It wasn't so widespread. He went from a place of widespread activity to a place of non-widespread activity, and that was to prevent the spread of the virus, was it? I'm sorry, but like literally the way that they're defending this man makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, and they just repeat the same thing and say, look, I've already explained this to you. Yeah, but what you've explained makes no sense whatsoever. Just saying it again doesn't make it real. It makes no bloody sense. So everybody's calling for this chap to be sacked, right? There's a lady in Scotland who did the same thing. She went to her second home. She resigned over it. and everybody's saying he should resign. Well, from what I can see, he doesn't even have a job there. He's not even a part of the Conservative Party. What would it matter if he did resign? It'd be still where he is. It just wouldn't be such a public face. But I think that the way that we should go about it is not asking him to resigning the bloody lockdown, because him doing that, and moreover their defence of him doing that, makes a mockery of the whole bloody thing. Why, when I have no COVID-19 symptoms, am I not allowed to see my grandchildren for 2 months when they also don't have COVID-19 symptoms? I've stayed in my house, they've stayed in their house. None of us have got it. 2 bloody months we've been here doing knack all. So, if it's all right for him, what he should do, rather than resign, is say, look, I was making it all up at the beginning. The whole lockdown was a complete farce. There is no reason for it. I've proved it. I get away with it. So let everybody out of their house. That's the way I think that we should deal with it. We should just say, right, at the end of the day, this is bloody laughable. It was never needed for every healthy person to remain indoors. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't needed for healthy people to be kept inside their house, not allowed to work, not allowed to socialise with anybody. Absolute nonsense. And he highlights it, and I think that should be what comes out of this whole fandango. It's like, look, at the end of the day, we'll say whatever we've got to say. It was never about the virus, in my personal opinion and the opinion of a lot of professionals. It wasn't about the virus. This is about other things. It's about control. It's about ID 2020. It's about getting us all bagged and tagged. It's about the vaccine. Now, I watched an interesting, and I've got it on Facebook. If any of my Facebook friends want to see it, I'll send it to you in Messenger. A video of Bill Gates addressing the CIA, basically saying that they've identified this thing in the brain that causes radicalisation, that causes people to be terrorists and whatever. And he said, basically, we can eradicate that with a vaccine. So that's Bill Gates himself saying there is something in this vaccine that changes people's mental makeup. So why are we all sitting there waiting for a vaccine? He ain't sticking shit in me, mate. I do not know what the purpose of this vaccine is, but it is nothing to do with COVID-19. I shall stake my really corrupt reputation on it. So basically, yeah, today I've been to see my grandkids, because fuck them, because they don't care about me, they care about each other. This is all a bag of shit. I haven't got COVID-19, my grandkids haven't got COVID-19, my daughter hasn't got COVID-19, so you're not going to keep me away from them. And I am not going to pay a fine, because I will stand there in a court of law and point out this twat, because he makes a mockery of the whole thing. I think things need to change, and they need to change quick, because it's just got laughable now, don't you, right?